So with the release or port of Cyberpunk 2077's Ultimate Edition on the Nintendo Switch 2, I thought now would be a good time to revisit the game and relay why you should play it in 2025 and, to be honest, much beyond. This game's story is a crazy one, full of turbulent downs and triumphant ups, and I played the game for the first time at launch and again with the launch of the Phantom Liberty DLC. With Cyberpunk now being in its most definitive form, I wanted to discuss exactly why I believe you should play the game if you somehow haven't already. I'll be talking about the game's world and exploration, its combat, story, and also the DLC, of course without any spoilers at all. Also, if you enjoy this type of content, please consider subbing to the channel and dropping a like, and without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, first, what exactly is Cyberpunk 2077? Cyberpunk is a first-person, open-world RPG set in the streets of the gritty and neon-lit, futuristic Night City. You play as V, a mercenary in Night City who's trying to carve out a name for himself in a world where body modifications are as common as breathing and mega corporations rule the land without any sense of morality. It's a world that is unforgiving, one that is constantly trying to consume you with its evil. But underneath all the glamour and flashiness of the visuals, there's a full-blown RPG with many branching choices, character customization, and a world that truly reacts to your choices. The game dropped in quite a rough state back in 2020, as we all remember, and although I greatly enjoyed the game even at the time, it was clear its potential wasn't quite met, and it was quite a messy experience. With the 2.0 update released by CDPR 2 years ago, with countless updates in addition to an incredible expansion in Phantom Liberty, Cyberpunk has been reborn into a game that is completely revamped in every way you can think of. Cyberpunk now is truly a completely different game, a world that feels more alive, a city so well made, and characters that make it one of the most immersive gaming experiences you will ever play. Bugs are pretty much gone entirely, and the game really has had its own No Man's Sky moment. Now, to discuss Cyberpunk's world and exploration, right off the bat, Night City is one of the most gorgeous and visually captivating open worlds that I've ever stepped in. From the towering skylines to the slum-like edges of the region of Pacifica, the city really is built in a way that's hard for me to truly describe in just words. This game truly feels next-gen in all of its aspects, and you'll be bested to find a game that looks better than Cyberpunk 2077. The detail in every part of Night City is insane, with neon signs reflecting off damp floors, civilians with cyborg-esque implants going about their lives, and the hum of crime and traffic everywhere you go. It all makes Cyberpunk City feel like a sensory experience in itself, and it really feels just right as a unique dystopian future depicting the consequences of corporatization and corruption when they're let loose in the world. Exploring this world is just as fun and mesmerizing as looking at it. All the cars feel so nicely designed to fit in this world, and being able to go first person and see all of these intricately built interiors is an awesome detail that really adds to the immersion. The vehicles are fun to drive in, and the various landscapes of Night City make driving one of the most illuminating experiences in the whole game. In addition to this, the exploration itself just feels varied and rewarding. From stumbling into a random encounter with a cyber psycho while in an alleyway, or a group of people that lead you down a new quest, Cyberpunk 2077 is a game that constantly rewards your curiosity, and it really makes you never want to use fast travel. When the game first came out, the reactivity of the world wasn't really the greatest, as many mechanics, just the entire police and gang systems, meant that even if you went guns blazing everywhere you went, there were no real consequences for your actions. Now the city truly reacts to everything that you do, as the police will be fast to catch you if you commit crimes, and gangs patrol and guard their turf with utmost aggression. It makes the world truly feel like it's reacting to all of your actions, both in the cutscenes and choices, but also in gameplay. Night City has various districts that are so entirely distinct from one another, with every street feeling like it's handcrafted, again just adding to the immersion of the game itself. Whether you're walking through a bright neon lit marketplace or breaking into the biggest high-rise in Night City, there's always something meaningful just around the corner when you're exploring the world of Cyberpunk 2077. The combat in Cyberpunk 2077 has had an absolute glow up with the 2.0 update, which overhauled many aspects of the combat, making it go from a janky FPS RPG to a game that now truly feels extremely responsive with great gunplay and build customization. Whether you decide to go in guns blazing with the game's giant variety of weapons, from futuristic shotguns, assault rifles, or snipers, or hacking the implants of your enemies from afar, Cyberpunk has you covered from all corners. You've also got an insane range of melee weapons that all feel impactful, from the expected katanas to baseball bats, which you can supplement through creating a netrunner build that allows you to fry the brains of your enemies without you ever being seen. Everything I've mentioned is all a completely viable and incredibly fun way to experience the combat of Cyberpunk 2077. But what really makes the combat super engaging is the cybernetic implants and the very revamped perk system that is super streamlined, but also allowing you to make meaningful changes to your build every time you invest a new point. For example, if you were to go all in building out the reflex skill tree, you'll be able to dash through the air, gain better movement when shooting, and gain access to some new ways to kill everyone in your path. The weapons all feel like they have a kick and impact to them, and some weapons that can also auto-track feel amazing to use when you've built your character with specific perks. Throw in some of the game's best cyberware, such as that of the Sandervistan, and you'll be able to pull off some insane moves that make you feel like a king in combat against everyone that comes in your path. The game's enemy AI and boss fights were also revamped, with enemies mostly working smarter, now flanking, using cover, and behaving in ways that make them actually fun to fight all the time, especially on the harder difficulties. The combat is some of the most stylish first-person combat I've ever experienced, and when you build your character into an absolute beast by the end of the game, the combat becomes some of the best I've ever experienced. If you like RPGs with great build customization and a combat system that truly feels flexible and intuitive, there's not many games that are going to offer you the same experience of Cyberpunk 2077 in its current state. The story is my favorite aspect of Cyberpunk 2077, and of course this section will contain no spoilers for the game's narrative and will rather be a little synopsis of what to expect once you dive in for yourself. Cyberpunk 2077 at its core is an emotional, deeply personal narrative about legacy, identity, and what it means to be human in a world that loses more and more of its humanity every day. Your protagonist V is a mercenary caught up in the glamour and tragedy that encapsulates this world, and your interactions with all of the game's characters and environments creates an experience that truly feels resonant. The real magic of Cyberpunk's narrative is its characters. Either your bond with Jackie or your ongoing relationship with the great Johnny played by Keanu Reeves, all of these characters feel unique, real, and truly fleshed out. They all have their scars from their time in this world, and the amazing cast of side characters from Panam to Judy are fully realized with nuance and depth that genuinely evolve based on the choices that you make throughout your journey with the game. These aren't just your typical run-of-the-mill NPCs, but they're characters that stick with you much longer after the quest concludes, and they really stick with you. The game's choices and paths is what makes the narrative additionally so interesting, as your dialogue choices, your life path background, and how you treat NPCs in side quests will all come back and affect you in different ways throughout the narrative and the way in which the characters interact with you. The consequences of your words are real in this game, and the game doesn't hold back emotionally in any way. The game's story from the beginning to the very end is one of the best video game storylines I've ever had the pleasure of embarking on, and the various characters are ones whose lives and dreams still ring in my mind. If you're looking for a game with a story that will truly impact you with its grit, its characters, and its choices, Cyberpunk 2077 is truly the perfect game for you. This section of the video will be the quickest, as I just wanted to mention my quick thought about the game's Phantom Liberty DLC or expansion, of course without any spoilers. Honestly, the DLC doesn't feel like one at all, and it really does feel like a new game etched into the already amazing experience that is Cyberpunk 2077. The DLC story is set in a new district inaccessible earlier in the game, and it really takes all the core systems and choices of the base game and dials them up in every way. And I really mean every way, as the DLC has much tighter quests design, refined storytelling, and a world that feels even more dangerous and cautiously alive than the rest of Night City. The new characters introduced by this DLC are just as good, if not better, than the ones you stumble upon in the main quest of Cyberpunk 2077. And truly, this is an experience you cannot miss if you do plan on playing Cyberpunk 2077. In addition to an incredible new story that spans a good 10 to 15 hours of constant highs, the DLC also has its own gigs, weapons, and vehicles, allowing you to really push your gameplay experience to the next level. In many ways, the Phantom Liberty DLC outclasses the main game, and honestly, I enjoyed my time with it just as much, if not more than that of the base game. There's just so much on offer with this DLC that I can't not recommend for you to pick this up alongside the base game if you do decide to buy the game. Cyberpunk goes on sale regularly alongside the DLC in what's known as the Ultimate Edition, and honestly, if you're playing the game for the very first time, I highly recommend you pick up this edition for the best possible experience in the amazing game that is Cyberpunk 2077. So I think the verdict for this review is quite obvious, and that is you should absolutely purchase and play Cyberpunk 2077 and its accompanying DLC in 2025 and pretty much every other year after. The game is truly one of a kind, and it's extraordinary how incredible the storytelling, characters, and gameplay are in every way. It's truly a far cry from how the game launched in 2020, and if you dive into the game for the very first time now, just know you'll truly be experiencing the best possible version of Cyberpunk. Anyway, that's all from me for today. If you did enjoy, please consider subbing to the channel for more content like this, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.